What's up, YouTube? This is Mike, aka Bumblebee, coming at you with another video update of my 180-gallon reef tank. This particular video is going to be on the layout on how I set up my Kalk reactor and how I have it hooked up. The alarms that I have set up with it, given that I have the Reef Keeper Lite, and basically this has been running for 2 weeks now, so it's been working fairly well. I have no complaints. So I thought I'd share it with you guys for anyone out there that's looking to purchase a Kalk reactor or trying to understand how they work or basically how to hook them up. Well, in this case, what you will need in order for it to work as the way mine is Reef Keeper Lite or Lite, okay, or for that case any controller, but I'm not going to pretty much get into any other controller rather than the digital Reef Keeper, given that I don't know how other controllers work. I know they all have a similarity and whatnot, but let's just keep it simple with the digital Reef Keeper Lite in this case. Basically what you need is the SL1 module. If you got the basic, I don't believe it comes with that one. You need to have the pH probe. You need to have the digital Reef Keeper, of course, and then you're gonna need a float switch that connects to your SL1 or to any other modules that you do have, not the PC4s. You're gonna need in this case, the Two.little.fishes Kalk reactor. That's what I'm using, or any other reactor in that case. That's a stir reactor. Pretty much the ones that continue to keep stirring rather than the one that has the pump, because those are a little bit more different, given that you have to set up timers and such for your pumps to pretty much mix up the saturated powder that comes for the kalkwasser in order for you to get that effluent lime water that you're looking for to introduce into your tank. So basically you need the kalk reactor, the Kalk meter, of course. You'll need your auto top off system, which is basically whatever jug you're using, tank, bucket, whatever you're using for water to hold RO water, pump that it basically is going to feed into your Kalk reactor that basically will be introducing the lime water and your top off water at the same time into the tank. So those are pretty much the items that you need. A quick recap: digital Reef Keeper Lite or Elite. You need to make sure you at least have the SL1 or any other module, in that case SL2. I believe they have other ones as well that can be hooked up. They have switches that you can hook up your float switch to. You need the kalkwasser reactor, which in this case I'm using the Two.little.fishes, and you need pretty much a pump. And in this case, for this reactor, it's anywhere between I believe 300 to 250 gallons per hour in this case. So that's pretty much how what you need in order to get this taken care of. Now, as you can see, that's my Kalk reactor. Next to it is the G.F.O. reactor from Two.little.fishes. And then in here, that orange bucket is my auto top off. You can see the float switch on top, which I have my RO water that pretty much feeds it into the bucket. Automatically will, once it's full, will shut the RO off, so I won't have no leaks or anything like that. And then as you can see, this black tubing right here, as you can see, there's the pump. Okay, pump goes connected into the reactor. Before the reactor, I have the check valve. I have it located there rather than down to where the pump is, because it's more easier to get to for time for maintenance. Okay, then basically it goes in to the reactor, down that tube, okay, which automatically reduces the flow into that. You can barely see it because eventually the water is a little cloudy, given that eventually it has been stirring earlier. But there is like a stick that goes straight down, which is a tube that feeds water into the bottom here, and it has like a little thing that kind of like spins. Sorry for not having the proper word for it, but as you can see, it just turned on, and you see how it's kicking up the media. It just turned on briefly there to introduce some water, but it kicks it up, stirs it up, creates the cloud of the lime water that we're looking for, and out through the effluent line, as you can see, which is this part right here, and that goes straight down to that tube that is right here, as you can see, the one wiggling, that has the pretty much that white stuff on it, and that goes into the tank, into the sump, I mean, and down. And here I have a power head. Now that is there for the purpose of making sure that nothing settles in this stage here where the pumps are at and the skimmer. And at the same time, I put that facing here so it could automatically push it and kind of like introduce it all mixed up pretty well before it goes into the tank. So anytime that does turn on, it basically would just go ahead and get pushed through that pump, and it'll get spread evenly out through this 1200 mag that's here, and another one that's back there, right there, as you can see where that union is. That's where the other 12 is at. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how basically to program your digital reef keeper for the alarms. So in this case, when the alarm is set up for the flow switch, okay, anytime that the flow switch goes down, when it goes down on level, as you can see it there, once that goes down, that opens up. That means that it sends a signal to the SL1 where it's connected to turn on, which I have it programmed to PC4, which is that outlet with the tag there. That's the pump for the RO water. So when that switch goes on, it turns on that pump. By turning on that pump, eventually makes that mix up and gets introduced into the tank. Now, many times there's many problems with your auto top-off systems, especially those that are flow switches. They get stuck, some debris can get caught up in it. You know, those are things that one needs to monitor when they're dealing with flow switches, because you want to make sure that your flow switch is always clean and there's no buildup or calcium buildup for that matter, or anything like that that can prevent it from working the proper way. So it's recommended that you clean it. I pretty much try to get to it like every 2 weeks. The longest I will ever leave it for is like a month maybe. And I guess I'm just saying that because lots of times we find ourselves pretty busy, and there's a lot of things that we need to keep in mind when we're dealing with our tanks. Many things that got to get checked out. Well, my lights just went on at 1 o'clock. Okay, as you can see, it's 117. Now here is what my pH is, and this is what it stays like overnight. Okay, since the introduction of the Kalk reactor. Now here, this would normally, now they stay on till 10 o'clock, and basically my pH yesterday was at 8.2, and that was actually I was really happy about that, because I've been having a little issue with that. And I just wanted to make sure that the Kalk reactor was a good purchase, given that I was having problems with my pH. Well, here we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you how to program your digital float switch. So what we do first is we hit menu, we go down to alarms, press enter, pick the alarm that you want to go with. In this case, I'm using number 10. Okay, we press enter. Alert, as you can see, that's for flashing. If you want it to flash when this alarm gets triggered, you can do beeping, or you can do email if you have the net module. Okay, well, in this case I don't want no alerts for any of them. Now when I do get my net module, I will be setting up an alert for email, but in this case I don't have it, so we move forward. Now you're going to pick the device. You're going to go to the device. In this case I have it on switch A of my SL1, so you put switch, which is SWA, press enter, You want it to trip when it opens. So basically, on your flow switch, when it goes down, that's when it opens. So when it opens, you want it to turn on. You press enter, save, and you have your alarm. It's that simple. Now you press back, we go back, and now we press menu again, and now we're going to go ahead and set up the PC4 where the pump is connected to. So we're going to go down to my PC4, to modules. From modules, we're going to go down to PC4. Now I have it on the PC4, and you go to the channel that you have your pump set up to. In this case, mine is channel 4. As you can see, at the moment it is off because eventually I am leveled up with my water at the moment. So we press enter. You're going to go down to mode, and you want to put this at auto. Normally it's already on auto, but you want to make sure and put it on auto. You save. You go down to function. Now in function, you're going to go ahead and you're going to put, in my case, I put controller. It's already there. Okay. A lot of people use the on-off, but in this case, you want to use the controller because by using your controller, what you can do is you're using your SL1 to use the device that's connected to the SL1, which is your pH probe. And what's going to happen there is it's going to give you the opportunity when you press enter to pick your device, and that'll be your pH device, your pH probe. So you press enter. You want to put your set point of what you expect your pretty much your tank to be at, and that is at this point I would like it to be at 8.4. So that's what I have it set up to. So basically this is the number settings at the way they have it, but this is reading at 8.4. Okay, so you press enter, move that up to 8 or whatever desired set point you want it to, meaning whatever level of pH you want your tank to be at, and not go above that. Okay, so basically you just go ahead and you put it in and press enter. You want this to stay open, okay, want this to stay on, when it's below 8.4. So when it's below 8.4, you want it to stay on. Okay, now what we're going to do here is we're going to set this to 0.10. Now that means that if my pH happens to go up to 8.5, it's going to automatically shut off that pump. Okay, so like that, it don't keep introducing water with Kalk water media, lime water into it, that sump, and causing catastrophe, as we all know, because that could be very harmful to the corals, even to the fish, to all livestock. So we put that to 0.10. You press enter. In standby, you want to ignore it. Your default is off, and you press save, and that's it. And now in this here on your controller, you're going to go back and you're going to go to alarm, okay, because we still on the PC4 on channel 4 in my case, and you're going to set your alarm to the desired alarm that you had set up previously before. So in this case I have it at 10. You press enter, okay, and basically you just keep on going from there, and that is all. Now as far as the purpose of all this is, so if your digital flow switch stays on and it keeps pumping water from your reserve of your RO top off into the Kalk washer, and it keeps introducing all that into your tank, it's going to go ahead and create a catastrophe. So in this case, you just go ahead and it'll shut it down, because once your pH probe reads that it's at 8.5, because it's introducing all this right away, it's going to shut it down even though your digital switch flow switch failed. So if it does fail and stays in the open position, basically you have a backup plan, so your pH probe can send a signal to your PC4 shutting off the channel that's connected to the pump. And that's basically how that works. So if anybody got any comments or suggestions or concerns in regards to how I have this set up, or if I wasn't clear enough or specific in any areas, feel free to hit me up and let me know. Thanks for watching.